Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad that you were able to join us for this landmark conference on community-based management of acute malnutrition. I want to thank Minister Colin Brophy for his kind and sincere words. He has been a leader in connecting Ireland's own history of hunger to the contemporary experience of malnutrition around the world. So his contribution is especially relevant. I want to thank him and the Irish government for their unfailing support and leadership in the fight against hunger. Thanks to the concerned team who have worked so hard to make this event possible, to Irish Aid for supporting not only this conference, but the development and implementation of CMAM over the last 2 decades. And finally, thanks to all of you who form the beating heart of the movement to end the scourge of acute malnutrition. As you kick off what I know will be a rich and an informative few days, here's some inspiration to get you going.
This is a story about software and hardware. It's about ideology and evidence, revolution and resistance. It's a story of pioneers and politics and percentages, of courage and conviction and collaboration, of action, reaction, innovation, iteration, impact, risk and reward. It's a story rich with descriptors that give meaning and substance to a 4-letter acronym. But most of all, it's a story about humanity and about home. The final years of the 20th century brought a dawning realization that the traditional ways of dealing with acute malnutrition were not working. Inpatient treatment centres were not only inefficient and expensive, but they exposed women and children to the dangers of infectious disease, conflict, and economic deprivation. Nutritionist Dr. Steve Collins began to imagine an alternative that would return the power and agency to the household. And the arrival of a new oil-based therapeutic food would be a game changer, helping make possible the concept of community-based therapeutic care. But turning a revolutionary idea into an actual revolution can be the biggest challenge of all. Generating enough evidence to make a persuasive case is the key, and sadly it would take another hunger crisis to provide an opportunity. Steve Collins and Concern worked together in Ethiopia to make their case, demonstrating the potential of community-based care. The Irish government recognised that potential, underwrote a large-scale trial in Malawi, and the rest is history. Over the past 2 decades, community management of acute malnutrition has become the accepted standard of care for acutely malnourished children, adopted by organisations and authorities across more than 70 countries. It has literally changed the course of history, saving countless lives and easing the burden of care for millions of mothers and carers in villages, camps and settlements, from Pabna to Pugnido to Port-au-Prince. CMAM has evolved and adapted to suit circumstance, most recently during COVID. And the continuance of that evolution is an imperative. Statistics show that less than a quarter of the children who need treatment today actually receive it, leaving 35 million futures in the balance. And that's the challenge that lies ahead.